Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a Q&A. That way you guys can learn more about me and I can feel like I'm on a FaceTime call with all of you. So let's not mind this little picture. It is Nicholas's piece of art that was there before I moved in. So I'm gonna change that to a little girly piece one day. I'm gonna do that one day and then see how long it takes for him to notice that it's changed. Anyways, okay. I asked on my second Instagram for you guys to send in questions, and a lot of you guys sent in pretty similar topic questions, which is nice because it's all the things that I like to talk about. So the biggest one was, what am I majoring in? What am I studying? I did my undergrad degree at Virginia Tech and I got my degree in public health. If any of you guys aren't in college yet and are first number one deciding where to go and what to study, I would really recommend studying public health if your school offers that. It was run super well. You learn a lot of information, a lot more broad. You don't have to focus in on too much of the biochemistry, etc. type of classes. Good. But right now I am studying health administration, and my goal with that is to work as administrator in a hospital or a senior living facility, something on the admin side of a healthcare system. I applaud all those people that can do really hands-on stuff. That is not for me. I'd rather work on the other side because I'm so very passionate about healthcare. Just not the hands-on stuff. So that is what I'm studying, and it is through Wake Forest. It is an online program. It's 2 years. The professors have been amazing. The programs ran super well. Okay, so the next question is, how did Nick and I meet? So this ties in with why I moved to North Carolina. That was another question. So although my program is online and it is through Wake Forest, plays football here at Wake Forest, Nick and I met. I don't know why this is making me nervous to talk about. Probably because half of the viewers are people that know me at a personal level. For those who don't, Nick and I are from the same hometown. We went to rival high schools. We met each other junior year of high school, and then that was we knew of each other, and then we really started talking after freshman year of college when we came home from break. And then from then, that's just how we started dating. We went on a trip together prior to us dating. And yeah, then he asked me out. That was a big risk of me also going on this trip. And then after that, we both went back to school, and Virginia Tech and Wake Forest are only a 2-hour drive from each other. So he came and visited. It just so happened that also my freshman year roommate, Victoria, she was dating a player at the time on Wake Forest. So it all just worked out because she had connections already there with Wake Forest, and then Nick went there, and then it just all worked out. So yeah, that's a short summary. Okay, so the next question is, how are you so motivated to work out every day? A little backstory. Growing up, I was a big swimmer. I had swam competitively since the age of 5. That was the only sport that I did. However, it literally took up my whole entire life. Every season you had the 3-week break in August, but I was constantly swimming. I really enjoyed it at the time. Starting in high school, we had the 4 a.m. wake up times. It was the 2-a-days, the lifting, there was a lot that went into it, and I really did enjoy it. And then towards the end of my junior year, that was my peak swim career, everything. I was I'm gonna try to swim in college. This is what I want to do. And then my senior year happened to be a COVID year, when everything shut down. And I think I was in denial in the beginning of my senior year of I don't know if I actually want to do this. And then everything shut down. You had to stop swimming. You had to stop doing everything, of course. And I think that really solidified my decision. I didn't want to carry on. I just needed a break. I think I was burnt out of my fitness journey actually. Back in high school and growing up, I never really looked at fitness in the way that I do now. It was more I'm doing it for my sport. I'm just trying to get better as an athlete. Then I went to college, and still very much when I'm in that mindset was I was gonna work out, I was gonna keep up at it. When I got there, they have group exercise classes, which I started going to with my best friend Marie, and then my other best friend Isabella. We'd go all the time to cycle, body pump. I think that was the start of me liking the feeling of working out again. Very much though was not the way I am now. For workout, this is nothing bad at all, but I would then go refuel with Chick-fil-A because the dining hall had Chick-fil-A. I think the biggest kicker to my whole fitness journey was the end of my freshman year. For like the last month of school, I got Chick-fil-A breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We would sit in this dining hall, like just a dining room that was right next to the Chick-fil-A and Dunkin' Donuts. So we would get Chick-fil-A or sometimes Dunkin' for breakfast, then Chick-fil-A lunch and dinner. And it was just unhealthy. I did not feel great. I felt like crap. I didn't like the way I looked. Not only me not feeling good on the inside just because of how I was like fueling myself. Also, who you surround yourself by really does make an impact. And I'm dating now, at this point, I'm dating Nick, who's a D1 football athlete, grinding all the time, working out full days of the week, eating super clean. And that honestly influenced me to be like, okay, actually, like, I want to be like that. Like, I miss that. So then that was like a big, I think that was the biggest jump start. I would give credit to that. I haven't really ever said that before, but I mean, naturally, you're with each other all the time. So that did make a big impact and it helped a lot. Sophomore year, I started slowly getting into it. Senior year, I really took a huge step. A big thing that I think was a huge change for me was, number one, I got really big into running. I started running all the time my junior year. That's when I also started doing half marathons. My first half marathon was the April, I think it was, of my junior year. So leading up to that, I was really into working out, moving my body, eating well. Then senior year in mid-October, I signed up for my first marathon. So that really started a huge change in training because a half marathon versus a marathon was just a lot. It's a lot more mileage. It's a lot more dedication to your weekends. I also at this time slowly and then eventually cut out drinking. That was a huge thing. It's a very taboo topic because I am well aware when you're at school, it's really hard when you're surrounded by everyone else that is going out and having fun and you want to experience your lasts of your senior year. But I was also going through this transition phase where I was just I still want to go out and interact with my friends. I just don't want to do the drinking part because the next day I would have to wake up and run XYZ amount of miles. That was the biggest transition, not only fitness-wise, but also social. And I look back and I could say I have regrets, but there's no point of dwelling on it. I did what I did to make myself, I ended up running my first marathon and qualifying for Boston. That was the reach goal and I ended up completing it. So I'm glad I dedicated myself so much. I do realize though in the process, becoming sober, I did lose out on a different part of my life, but again, I wouldn't change it. I think that's now what's made me more inspired by fitness. I grew out of the whole going out, staying out late phase, and that's okay. I think also who you follow and what you see on social media makes a huge difference in what inspires you and what motivates you. The biggest thing I could really say to someone is setting a goal for yourself helps you stay so much more disciplined. When you're kind of just doing things day by day, without really an end goal of maybe what you want to look like or an activity you want to complete, I feel like that could make it harder. At least for me personally, that I'm very much I need a target to look at and I'm going to go all in for it and that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, that's a little bit about my fitness journey and who inspired me. I hope all of that jumble mess came together at some point. It really is, once you set yourself into a scheduled routine, I wake up at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday. Tuesday, Thursday, it's a little bit earlier than that just because of the class that I go to. It's a little bit earlier. That schedule though has helped me stay so disciplined. And I completely understand like waking up at 5 a.m. for someone is like way too out of reach, but I think just finding a schedule that works for you is so important. I mentioned this earlier, but for swim, I had to wake up at 4 a.m. every day. So I'm like used to the early wake up. So to me, waking up early was like the easiest part. I believe that everyone can be a morning person if they try. Granted, if your schedule of work or whatever else doesn't allow you to go to bed early, I completely get that. So another question is, do you want to live in North Carolina long term? Yes, I do. Where I ran my first marathon, it was in Cary, North Carolina, and that area, Raleigh, Charlotte, like that, it's not too far from home, but it's a new change of scenery. I know that the future at this time next year could be completely different. I'll just kind of go with the flow. So hopefully I can stay. Another question was, do I track calories in food? No. I used to when I was entering like my junior year, when I got into the running and everything, I was definitely recognizing what I was putting in my body, and I think I led that down a toxic path. But I would be lying if I didn't say that I used to track. I wish I never did, and I wish I never learned what the word calorie even meant, because now like I definitely still can struggle at times with the idea of food, and it's a hard cycle to break. I would not say that I've broken it fully yet, and I understand that. I'm more well aware. I'm not going to obviously stuff my face all the time with like bad food, but I know like to not restrict myself 110%, because that led me down a spiral. So now I do not track my calories in my food. I try to eat whole foods, what makes me feel my best, but if I happen to go out to dinner, I'm not going to pick the lowest calorie. I'm going to pick what sounds the best to me. So another person asked, how many steps a day do I get on average? It really does vary. I would say when I was running, it was definitely a little bit higher, obviously. Now that I haven't been running for like the past month, it's still relative. I mean, it's still, I would say probably between 15 to 25,000 steps to get at least over 15 every day, because that's the number that has made me feel, I guess, like the best. And I love walking. Another question is my favorite Ninja Creami recipe. I haven't really like adventured into making different ones. I have them all saved on my TikTok. I just haven't gotten around to actually trying new ones. I always use the Fairlife, chocolate Fairlife, a scoop of vanilla protein powder, and sugar-free double chocolate jello. I think that's what it is. And the protein powder that I've been really liking is the Ballerina Farms. It's a very clean protein powder. It is a little pricier, but it is so good. I would totally recommend if you are looking for one. Nick's sister asked me some questions, so I'm gonna read those ones off. Number one, who is your favorite Anderson? None. I can't say my favorite Anderson. I can't answer that one, obviously. No. The question was, who's my favorite person to work out with? Anyone. Honestly, if you're watching this, I miss our runs together. Like, working out with someone, this ties back into like who inspires you. Giving yourself a partner to hold you accountable while you're on maybe like a run, or you're in a cycle class, or you're swimming. Like, it honestly just helps pass time. Even when you're on a long walk, if you walk with someone, you're just talking the whole time. That is something I totally recommend, at least for me personally. I know there's definitely certain times where you're like, okay, I just want to be alone with my own thoughts, and I get that, but I think having a buddy also holds you accountable. One goal for my future self, I have so many. Probably be to build more of a following on YouTube. I have now met multiple people through social media. I mean, my best friend Kate, who does go to school here, literally the reason why we met is because she came up to me and was like, do you make TikTok? Was I embarrassed? Yes. However, like, I think it'd be just so cool if I could like build something more on this, like everyone else, right? So that is all the questions I'm going to answer today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching my video. I probably said one too many times, and I don't know if this is gonna all make sense. It might kind of go like this. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.